Afternoon all, how you all doing? Hopefully you're all feeling good. I've been out in the beautiful sunshine this morning, so I've had a lovely day today. Getting some vitamin D. It's very beautiful out there. It's gorgeous actually. Beautiful weather. So it's been nice. It's been nice to be out and about. How are you guys doing? Hi Helen, are you all out and walking and having your daily exercise? Helen, I'm sure you're going to be on the beach, I would imagine. Hi Cheryl. So I went to deliver some of the mugs that I'd done for the guys who have very, very generously donated £30 or more. I think I got 12 done. I got 12 mugs done, and I delivered them to be put into the kiln. Thank you very much, Cheryl. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting today. So today, watercolours. We're going to do watercolour trees today. So I'm going to do a kind of forest of trees. Helen's been there but ready to paint now. So you've been to the beach. Been to the beach. Nicely done. Let's put you... Ooh! I lost you. Have I got yours still? Lynn's at work but on her lunch break. Oh, that's boring. That's very boring. But at least you've managed to join us on your lunch break, which is good. That's good. Right, let's try and get you up on my computer so I can see all your comments now. So Helen's already been to the beach. Who else has been out today, out in the sunshine? Let's have a look. The boys are still in their PJs at the moment. Oh dear. We're having a lazy day. Having a lazy day today. Don't blame you. Oh, Nan's watching. Hi, Nan. I haven't been able to see my Nan for weeks. She's self-isolating. So hi Nan, nice to have you join us. Tabitha and Jocelyn, hello. Hello Sue, nice to see you. Excellent. So we have lots of people here today. This is lovely. And Charlotte's watching as well. And to Melissa's, nice to see you. Today I'm going to be using a fairly big brush to do this one. So it's quite a nice big fat brush to use. Carol, what sunshine? Have you not got sunshine, mate? It's beautiful today. It's been lovely. Been on walks. Rosie, Sarah, Edith and Harry. Hello. Managed to get Harry to paint. Nicely done. Or is it just joining in the watching maybe today? So nice big brush. So if anyone's got a kind of fairly big brush to use, hi Joe, we're gonna start using this to create our forest. So we're gonna do 3 layers, if you like, of trees, with the foreground ones being the ones that are closest to you, and the ones at the top, near the top of the page, are going to be the ones kind of further away. So get some pigment on your brush. I'm actually going to use my palette, and they're all done. All of these trees are done with the same colour. So if you want to mix up a colour, do, but make sure you've got enough to be able to use, because we're going to start off with the colour quite watery, lots and lots of water with it to make it look like it's kind of half faded in the distance. And then we're going to add more pigment into it as the trees come closer towards you. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to tip you down so hopefully you guys can see what's going on a little bit. And I'm going to actually use my palette for this so that I can add more water to it. So more pigment to it, sorry. So I'm going to add quite a bit of water onto this bit here. And then drop my pigment into it. So if you kind of twist your brush around into your paint. Mine are obviously quite worn down because I've used them quite a lot. And you're just going to get a little bit of colour into that water. So can you see that it's still really watery? I'm hoping you guys can see that. I might have to tip you down so you can see. So it's really quite a lot of water there and only a little bit of pigment. Okay, can you see? There we go. Yes, there's quite a lot of pigment, quite a lot of water in that. I'm just going to refresh that because I don't think I'm seeing all your comments. What is Stitch doing? Is that Charlotte asking what Stitch is doing? Stitch is writing some parchment today. So he's writing with his quill. He's obviously got it in his head to do some writing. With this kind of forest shape, or forest tree shape, so kind of a pine tree. And what you want to do is not make it too cartoony, but kind of start with a point and bring it out. I'm hoping you guys can see that. So you can start with a point and bring it out. And it's just kind of, you're randomly blobbing and leaving some gaps in there as well. So if I put this next one on as well. And then I'll hold it up so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm not leaving much pigment, so I'm moving the pigment quite far so that it's not too wet, because we want this to dry fairly quickly so we can put the next layer of trees on, the next level of trees on. And then if you can kind of take it all the way down to about 2/3 of the way down. Probably wouldn't see any more than that. So can you see where I've left some gaps? Yeah, so you want to leave some gaps in between those branches so you can kind of see through them. And then what I'm going to do is add another 3. So I might do another one, another 2. So I've got 3 altogether. So I might put another one over here. Oh, Charlotte, you were writing for school earlier. What were you writing? I bet it took you a lot shorter amount of time, because you're probably typing or writing with a pen as opposed to a quill like Stitch. It's going to take a long time to write with quill and ink. Long time. I've used a kind of sappy sort of what's called sap green. It's very tree-like green in this one. Again, I might just bring it down to about there. Here late. Oh, Dad. Outrageous. And then I'm just going to add another, so I'm going to add a 3rd one over here. So how are you guys all doing with that? Are you good? Are you okay with that 3rd one? What have we got? Charlotte, a setting description of a large house. Nice. Lots of descriptive words used there, I would imagine. Just bring that bottom bit out just a little bit so you can see a little bit more. Okay, so there we have our first row of forest trees, our first row of kind of pine trees there. Okay, so that first one's kind of drying already, which is very, very good. It's very nice. So what I then want you to do is add more pigment to your palette. So you might need to add more water. If, like me, you've used quite a lot up, you might want to add more water. So I'm going to add a bit more water, but make sure that you add a lot more pigment, so it needs to come out darker. Charlotte, I only have space for 2 trees. That's fine. Just do the 2. Just do the 2. Then your next level could be 3 smaller trees or thinner trees. So make sure you've got quite a lot of pigment in there. There we go. That should be quite nice. I'm going to test this on here now. So your next layer of trees, you want to start a little bit lower so that they look like they're closer to you. So a little bit lower. So I'm going to start over here. There we go. And then bring that colour down. Bring all of that paint down. So again, it doesn't stay too wet. There we go. Again, just make sure you leave some kind of some room for some of those branches in there. Doesn't matter if they look a little bit messy, because trees are never perfect in nature. They'll always twist and grow the way of the wind or the sun. So I'm going to bring this one a lot lower down here. Possibly quite close to the bottom. So this is our second layer, don't forget this is our second layer of trees. Okay, let's lift that up so you can see that. So can you see the contrast, the difference between those two colours, where you've got one that's really nice and watery, and then you've added that more pigment in just to make it a little bit stronger. I'm going to have to make some more paint up for my next tree. So I'm only going to do 2 in this level of trees. But you could do 3. You can do however many you can fit in. So I'm going to put 1 here. What colour have you all chosen? Have you all gone for green colours, or have you gone for like a more bluey green or more dual colour green? What kind of colours have you guys gone for? Are you all busy concentrating? You're all busy concentrating and painting. Lovely how relaxing. Cheryl, you've gone green. Nice. Do you like a good green? How relaxing this painting is. That's what I find with watercolour painting, is you can really relax whilst doing it. You can get completely absorbed in it, like a lot of crafts. You get completely absorbed, and nothing, because you're focusing on it, you can't think of anything else. So it's kind of the ideal mindfulness, really. You're completely focusing on what's in front of you, rather than worrying about the shopping or what's happening later on today or next week. So it's a nice thing to do, to relax, especially when you've just kind of come in from work or from school. It's a lovely thing to do. So here's my 2 trees. So I'm going to let those dry for a minute. That's my second layer. So before we put the third layer on, which is going to be even darker, and it's going to really stand out against those. So I'm just going to let those dry for a minute, but I want to show you guys something that, if I can find them, I went to the studio today while I was picking up more mugs, and I have some of the beautiful, beautiful weekend challenges that you guys have sent me. They're just absolutely stunning. Thank you so much. So I'm going to deliver these later this week. Where's my... Oh, I love this one. I so love this one. It's absolutely brilliant. You guys have done some brilliant stuff. I love these as well. Awesome. Beautiful rainbows in these ones. Nice colours. And lovely, lovely positive messages as well. Beautiful messages. So these are for the new ICU walls that they've had to build. Love this. They're just gorgeous. That they've had to build in the ward. Oh, I love this one. It's stunning. So thank you for everyone who sent those in. So I will be delivering those later this week. What's occurred? What's occurred? Blue, green and olive green. Oh, nice. Nice. Good colours for a pine tree. Katie's loving the peace and quiet. They're concentrating. The boys are concentrating. Mine have blended into one. Charlotte, your trees are blended into one. Is that because you didn't let the trees at the back dry? That might be why. That might be why. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. So you can, if they've kind of blended, just let them dry. And then you can make these ones a little bit darker if they've blended into the back. Oh, thanks, Amy. Yeah, if you can. No, it's not too late. It's definitely not too late. I can do another drop off If you can do a weekend challenge, that would be awesome. Yeah, the sunflowers are stunning, aren't they? My favourite flowers, sunflowers. Absolutely stunning. Cool. I think mine have dried enough. Hopefully your second layer has dried enough. And we'll get back to it. So I'm going to lower you guys down a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing for this one. Okay. So again, get some more water, and this is where we're going to use kind of the most pigment for this one. So I'm really, really going to get lots and lots of paint in there. Lots and lots of paint. And if you find that it's still not dark enough, then you can always work straight from the palette. That's not a problem at all. So I'm going to put 3 trees in my bottom layer. And again, I'm going to start slightly lower again. So I'm going to start about here for my bottom layer. And I think what I'm actually going to do, make it come there. So that's not quite dark enough for me. So I'm just going to add some more pigment. I might even start working straight out the palette. There we go, that's better. That's much better. So can you see you've got that real nice contrast of those trees that are kind of fading out into the background. And again, remember to leave some gaps for your branches. Very rarely a tree's solid. I'm going to bring that all the way down. And you can really have a play with the kind of shapes and sizes of these as well. And different tones as well. Who said, I can't remember who said, Pam said bluey greens and olive greens. Like there's some really nice kind of blue fir pine trees. And that would be a really nice colour to do these in. Or kind of a grey blue would be lovely. Rosie, they're fab. They're gorgeous, aren't they? It was actually the weekend challenges, I think. They're absolutely stunning. And you really are kind of be brave with this. Be brave with these paintings. Do just what looks like blobbing on is just blobbing on. I promise you it is blobbing on. So I'm going to do another one here. Get some more pigment on. I might start that bit lower actually because I quite like that bit of the back tree. So I'm going to leave that and start this one a little bit lower. So maybe start here. I was going to do an April Fool's joke today and tell you all that Ed, my husband, was going to be taking the class. But he said that apparently it was bad luck to do April Fool's after 12 o'clock. So, and I didn't want to invite any more bad luck in. So I definitely did not do that. Have any of you played any April Fool's jokes yet? Did you do them before 12 o'clock? Or is there still time for things to go awry? What did you do? There we go. So I've got a real nice contrast there between those 3 trees disappearing into the mist. Our forest is disappearing. Bring that out there a bit. There we go. So that's 2. And then I think I might do a third one over here. And space them out a bit just to finish that off. Again, I'm going to get quite a lot of pigment on. It's an advert from Iceland selling frozen flowers. Frozen flowers. That's brilliant. Love that. I wonder if anyone actually bought some. That would be quite funny. I did see the BBC news story again from years ago about the pasture trees that sort of did the circulations this morning. Oh, and I did have one. I had an email from my local drama group telling us that there was a new rehearsal video that we all had to learn by the end of the week, I think it was, or something. And it was a link to the river dance from Eurovision show years ago. I thought that was very good. Joe Wicks did one. Joe Wicks played a joke this morning, did he? See, I kind of miss Joe Wicks. He gets on my nerves. told the kids Wednesday chocolate day was cancelled because we needed to save the chocolate because of our quarantine. Oh, Severin, I bet you were in trouble after that. Chocolate's about the only thing that's keeping us going in this house. My teacher set a spelling test with really hard words, but then the first letter in every word spelled out April Fools. Very clever. I like that. I like that one. I like these April Fools. Okay, how are you all doing? Have you all done your third final tree? I'm kind of... Verity put bottles of water coming out of the bathroom and shouted, "Dad, there's water coming out of the bathroom." Paul fell for it looking for a leak. Brilliant. Genius, Verity, well done. I like that one, never seen that one before. I like that one. Okay, how are we all doing with your forests? Hopefully all doing good. So, my bottom three are still drying, but you can see that all those trees kind of fade off into the distance. Now that's only with 3 layers and obviously only with one particular kind of colour. But if you wanted to, you could create kind of more layers. You could make them smaller and have them kind of really fading off into that distance. You could add kind of slightly different colours in. You can maybe make the ones further away darker. So you can use a kind of more greyer shade of the colour that you're using to make them stand out. My finished forest. Like it. Charlotte, you can try again with yours. Don't give up. Try another go at it. Don't be frightened of doing that. Definitely have another go. Let them dry in between. Make sure you leave plenty of space. One of the things as well is that sometimes you can get quite carried away and the trees come really, really wide at the bottom. So try and keep them fairly narrow as you're going. Otherwise, yeah, you do end up with these kind of big bunched bits at the bottom where they blend into each other. So do try it again. Well done for trying. That's it for today. That's all I have to tell you. That's all I have to show you. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a wet on wet technique, which is really, really good fun, and it allows you to kind of lose control over the paint and over the painting. Anyone that's done, which I think a couple of you have, anyone that's done watercolour classes with me at the studio will have done this technique before. It's great fun. It really allows you to lose control with it. But so you will need a sponge or part of a sponge just to soak your watercolour paper tomorrow. It can be a kitchen sponge, like it doesn't have to be a particular special sponge. So definitely bring that tomorrow. Watercolour paper, paints, paintbrush, jar of water, and some kind of image that you want to paint tomorrow. Now for the technique tomorrow, some kind of floral bouquet, not frozen flowers from Iceland, but some kind of floral bouquet, picture of a floral bouquet or a garden that's got lots of colour in it, tend to work really well for that technique. So make sure you've got some kind of picture that you're gonna kind of paint from, a sponge, and then everything else that you've used today as well. Okay. That's it, basically. Lynn, lose control. Lynn, you already did this one. You already did that technique that we're going to do tomorrow. So you should be, expert at it. You'll be fine. Be absolutely fine. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. It's all good. It's all good fun. See you all tomorrow. Please donate if you can. I'll put the link below, and I'll also put below what we need for tomorrow as well, so that you remember. Don't forget that we're doing paper craft next week, so if you need either glue stick or double-sided tape, please order it so that it gets to you on time. Either Artway or The Works are doing both those things and are delivering in fairly good time at the moment as well, which is great. Nan said she loved it. Thanks, Nan. Can you paint Stitch? Yeah, you could paint Stitch, actually. Yeah. Bring it. It could be, yeah, a picture of Stitch that you could paint tomorrow. But it'll be very, very abstract by the time you finish, so it'll look great. Look brilliant. So glad you've enjoyed it, and I'll try to find the finish button. We'll see you all soon. Bye, guys. Oh.